with Behind Time Farm and Garden, and welcome to our kitchen. This afternoon I wanted to share with you just a little simple piece of simplicity. Something simple for Christmas, the dinner table. I know this year that things are going to be a little bit different, but that does not call for us not to enjoy the simple things of the season. And I want to show a little project, a little DIY that you yourself can do at home. And also we have one available left in the shop. So if you don't have time to prepare one for Christmas or thereafter, or just don't have the tools to do so, feel free to pick up one at the shop throughout next week or after the new year. But I want to start with this piece of, it's a 4x4, something that you normally get at your local lumber company or your local hardware store. It's a 4x4. I have taken the ones that we have cast off that has lots of blemishes and knots and splits and all that, and I have taken a chalk paint and painted it and scuffed the edges to give it that shabby chic or that farmhouse look. And I've taken a drill and drilled 5 holes in the top of this piece, and you can always put as many holes as you want, but my number one tip of decor, or even in planting, I like to work with odd numbers. And here I have drilled 5 holes to place 5 tapers. And you can pick up the tapers at your local candle store, or order them online, or actually pick them up at your local dollar store or what have you. And I have placed these in here. Now, the trick on the candles are 9 times out of 10, your holes in your 4x4 is not going to be large enough. So I have taken a butter knife and shaved off the ends to my tapers. And that makes them fit just real snug in the holes. And that's what you want, because you do not want one tipping over, which is very much a fire hazard. So I have taken this and placed the candles in them, or the tapers, and this piece right here is a pretty good sized piece. And what way to go down the middle of your table for Christmas dinner, or a buffet, or a coffee table. The possibilities are endless on this, and not just for the Christmas season, but for all year through. And if you have just joined me, I want to say a cheers. I am sipping on hazelnut coffee out of my sweet little Enjoy the Little Things Tractor Supply mug. If you have not picked up one of those mugs and you're a chicken lover, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to take some fresh greens. And here I have chosen a cedar with juniper berries. And I like to work with fresh foliage as much as possible. As if you have followed me for some time, you know that. And when working with this piece, if it's going down a center of a table, you want both sides to be shown, and you want them sides to be about even in placing your greenery pieces. So not only am I going to let it fall on that other side, I'm going to bring it around to this side as well. And as always, tucking your ends inside. I hope that you are having a wonderful and beautiful Sunday. We woke to an overcast sky, but I don't know if you can tell the kitchen is getting lighter and the sun is starting to beam through. And next, I'm going to bring in some white pine. And you know, I always like to just pull them off. I know that it's going to make probably a little sappy mess, but I like working with the small pieces as well as the larger pieces of greenery. And I like for it to go out about 8 to 10 inches. That way you're going to get such a more dramatic effect. And if you could just smell this foliage, and what a wonderful way to welcome your guest into your home for the Christmas season, or your immediate family, I may say, during these times that we're having. So I hope that you can see this quite clearly from where I'm standing here and placing the piece, but I think we need another piece right here. Now what I'm going to take is I'm going to take some wild honeysuckle vine. And when I was foraging for the juniper berries, actually climbing trees to get these berries out, there was a beautiful wild honeysuckle vine that was trailing up the tree. And I had to forage some of it because I love a whimsical effect. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason when creating a fresh bouquet like this. Just let things fall into place just as they would naturally. And I'm going to put a few more pieces over here on this end. And if you haven't watched my last video over on Facebook, I highly recommend you to. It's something that is really nice to do with the children or grandchildren, or to gift to friends and neighbors. And like I said, there is no rules about creating with fresh foliage. Of course, this has been dipped in water. It's been soaking for about 3 days. And if you're going to bring your foliage in, I highly recommend submerging your fresh foliage into a bathtub or a large bathroom sink or laundry room sink to let it soak for a few days. And that way you're going to get lots of moisture, because this is actually just laying across this 4x4, and so it's not getting any moisture in soil or water or what have you. So we want it to last for at least a week or so on the table. That way we can enjoy it throughout the new year. Next, I'm going to come in with, I think, some dried limelight hydrangeas. These are some of our little limelights. If you know or have stopped by the shop this year, you know that we grow lots of limelights. We offer the seconds here at the shop, and then our first high quality ones go for sale online. And these are some small ones that I had harvested and kind of saved back for little projects like this. And we all know that these are actually dried, so we want to keep them far from the flame. We don't want to put them up anywhere near here once we light the candles. We want to be sure and be safe throughout the Christmas season. Okay, now we've added some limelights, and when we're working with this scale, this size, I know that lots of the limelights are pretty large heads. let's kind of keep them on a small scale because we don't want them to overpower the candles and the other pieces that we're going to tuck in. And one of the pieces that we're going to tuck in are one of my absolute favorites, pine cones. And with a pine cone, you can use these for many years to come, as well as the limelights. The limelights, as long as you're keeping them out of direct sunlight and indoors, not exposing them to any inclement weather, they will be just fine. They'll shed some, of course, that's naturally, but you can store them away in a box or a rubber tote for years to come. So I'm going to place pine cones throughout the centerpiece. Isn't this just gorgeous? And don't be just limited to what I'm showing you here today. Anything that you have throughout your home, for instance, I have these little galvanized little houses in the shop, and I think that we have probably about 4 left. They're not just for Christmas, even though they are, they do create a nice ornament by tucking in a light in your tree, but I like to set them around in the house. And look at this. Doesn't it just like bring a pop of color to this piece? And it's like creating a little village. It has a little door and, against the honeysuckle. I love it. And then another thing that I have here is some dried gourds. Dried gourds are not just for fall or autumn. Let's bring them out all year through. Again, there's no rhyme or reason or rules to follow. It's all in creating your home, telling your story. And I have a third, of course you know that I like working in odd numbers. I have a third little house, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just place it right here. And if you had more, I would prefer 2 more on this side, but I do not have the room. And one of the other things I like to do, especially in centerpieces, we're going to have light here, but there is something that I like doing in my centerpieces, and that's using the battery operated lights. I love adding them to greenery, and what I'm going to do with this little battery pack is tuck it right inside the greenery, and then of course we would add another one to the other side, and then we're going to come in. And normally, you would trim your wicks. But I have not gotten the tool to do that right now. And so I want you to look at this magnificent centerpiece. And I hadn't thought just now, the idea of a mantle came to mind. How beautiful if you had a mantle with a large mirror or several layers of mirrors on your mantle, and had this in place of it with the glow of the candles or the tapers. Isn't that simply beautiful? And I highly encourage you, if you haven't done any foraging this Christmas season, it's not too late. I am still foraging. And I don't really, I have plenty of materials to work with, but it's just therapy to the soul. It gets me outdoors, it gets me away from the farm, and there's just the possibilities of what you may find in the woods or along the ditch line or a fence row. It's just endless. And again, as long as you have permission or you're able to clip it, then take whatever you can find that is beauty to your eyes and create something for your home. And in a few, I will be taking more photos and adding these to Instagram and Facebook, as well as doing a blog post. But I wanted to share this very simple DIY with you. If you do not have the tools to create something like this, please feel free to stop by the shop. We have them available in the shop. I would love to have one in my home for the Christmas season. But if I don't, then hopefully I may be able to, even on Christmas Day, I've been known to be out creating something just to bring in, to hurry and scurry along to get something for the dinner table. So I want this to encourage you to find something special in the simple things of Christmas and not get blown away by the world today. We have our safe haven in our homes, and let's enjoy that and cherish that and be thankful and grateful for that. I want to thank you for joining me in my home, and I hope that you all have a blessed and Merry Christmas.